This is Drumlanrig Castle, one of Scotland's greatest stately homes and a jewel in the crown of Buccleuch Estates, the UK's biggest private landowner. But these days, the Duke of Buccleuch is anxious about the implications of Scottish Government plans for radical land reform. Among the proposals is a call for more diversified land ownership. The government cites estimates that 50% of Scotland's private land is controlled by just 432 owners. Scottish National Party ministers want to establish a permanent land reform commission and to gain the power to intervene where landowners are judged to be blocking sustainable development. In Drumlanrig Castle's elegant morning room, the Duke of Buccleuch says the political pressure will almost certainly lead him to slim down his vast estates.
I'm deeply dismayed that this issue has been reopened again. I can understand that there are always going to be some people who object to large-scale land ownership, but we felt that that was dealt with at the time of the establishment of the Scottish Parliament. What is being done challenges the nature of the society we live in and property rights. It also, in practical terms, creates deep uncertainty in planning for the future, and I think that's going to be the disadvantage of the rural economy.
As an example of the enduring ties that bind the Buccleuch estates, the Duke shows off a beautifully produced book of photographs of tenants and staff, given by them as a wedding present to his son.
It's a pretty tangible thing to see these people, 3 generations in some cases, some with families going back 10 generations, longer even, who've been partnered in managing the land for 150, 200 years, and it's still alive, and that's really, really appreciated by us.
The Duke also offers an economic case for scale. Buccleuch Estates holdings range from near desolate uplands to fertile farms, industrial sites and urban property. At Buccleuch, it's orchestrating the transformation of an open-cast coal mine into a renewable energy park, a scheme that would task a smaller landowner. But the SNP's reform push is welcomed by Andy Whiteman, veteran land campaigner.
I take the general view that if you have many, many more people with a stake in land, you'll have higher levels of commitment to using that land in the public interest, higher levels of accountability, higher levels of democratic engagement, and you'll also have higher levels of investment and productivity.
Who owns the land and how it's used are fundamental questions anywhere, with implications for almost every aspect of social and economic life. And here on the island of Gigha, residents have been grappling very directly with these issues since 2002, when in a pioneering move, the community itself bought most of the island from its private landlord. Run by the Isle of Gigha Heritage Trust, the island is now a test case for community ownership, which the SNP wants to expand. Since the buyout, the Trust has spent heavily to make dilapidated houses habitable and has built 4 wind turbines, dubbed the Dancing Ladies, to bring in new income. Margaret McSporran, the Trust's volunteer chairperson, says community control has boosted the island's population and economic activity.
I think what it's done is create a climate where entrepreneurism is able to grow and develop. The housing accommodation being available for people to come in and not just work on the estate, but also to grow their own businesses.
But community ownership has also created strains. Costly refurbishments and debt taken on to fund the buyout have put pressure on Trust finances. A bitter dispute between leaders and an incoming dairy farmer has divided residents.
There was a lot of criticism at the time of the previous landlords, but decisions were made there and then, and to be honest, I would rather be under the last landlord as what we're under now. It's seen as a great thing, it's community buyout, but reality is it's not.
Joe Teal disagrees. For him, the buyout brought both opportunity and the comfort of knowing the island's fate is now in residents' hands.
Private ownership can be great news for some communities or in some scenarios. I think what the Trust offers is the kind of long-term security that a kind of private benefactor could never really do. You can't say for certain that an island's going to remain in the hands of a private owner for much longer than the medium term.
The intensity of discussion on Gigha over land ownership and use shows just how complex and sensitive these issues can be. But with the government now committed to further reform, it is the kind of debate that many more communities across Scotland are likely to find themselves having. Mure Dickie, Financial Times, Isle of Gigha.